Hi everybody, welcome to Archimarathon. We are at Empire House.
In Canberra. And I guess you're going to say by Maynard architects, the best architects in the world. Crap.
But there's evidence because this project won the prestigious Canberra Medallion.
What's a Canberra Medallion?
It's like the biggest award you can get.
Like how big?
It's actually really big bling.
Big ass medallion.
I should be wearing it with a gold chain. And the big projects get it, like Parliament House and the High Court and New Acton. But this cute little extension and renovation won the medallion. There's a reason for that. But we'll come back to it after this commercial break.
Hi, me Momo Tim Heidecker, and welcome to Discount Prices.
I've got $1.99.
I've got $7.99.
I've got $16.99.
Cheap prices.
$14,
$11,
$2.49.
So what's so special about this place?
So Canberra, an instant city. At the time, one of two places in the world, this and Brasilia, where a government said, let's build it, a city where none exists. And there were a lot of planning codes that were introduced. So no front fences, it was going to be the garden city. And there were lots of little cute cottages like this that were built, very, very modest cottages. And rather than doing what is happening everywhere, this is the whole point of this project. Rather than doing what is happening everywhere else, where these modest cottages are getting flattened and gross McMansions are going up, these huge, I'm not really against big houses, but there's no thought to them actually trying to reuse the buildings that are here. So this project was all about being a custodian of an original family home and just making it work for the age that we're in today.
Yeah, because a lot of those were not great. That's to put it lightly.
What one?
These houses, in terms of how they worked.
Yeah, so thermally, this is still a problematic house.
It's very cold in some parts,
yeah. We went through the cost issues of trying to replace all the glazing with double glazing, and it just kept on blowing out the budget. So what we decided to do was actually zone the house. So you can live in discrete zones and bring in, like we always do, passive elements of heating and cooling where we can. But rather than upgrade the whole thing, was just to make it so you can zone areas.
It's quite a good move because different people have different thermal preferences. I know some people just complain about going to Europe or Scandinavia. It's too warm inside.
Yeah.
And then you got people like Scandinavians are going to come here to Australia. Oh, you live in like Tassie. The houses are freaking freezing.
Yeah, hard tents.
Yeah.
But I've spent winter in Holland a couple of times, and you go inside and it's just like, get everything off, it's too friggin' hot inside.
Well, that's why they have cloakrooms and they wear big jacket.
Yeah.
So like many of your other projects, it's again a series of cottage forms.
Yep.
In this case, you do have the old house, also a cottage, so it's kind of talking to each other.
Yeah, and deliberately keeping it a scale that is respectful. Actually, in this case, trying to be smaller than the original house. And there was a couple of things we were trying to resist here. So one of them is the demo and rebuild, but the other one is also the huge tumour, where you have
huge tumour.
It's
not a tumor.
It's a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
Well, you see, this sympathetic, like second level that gets popped out the roof of it, or out the back of it, there's suddenly this growth that's made out of the same materials, as though, oh, it's the same house, don't worry. We actually wanted to have these two growths that were separate bits of architecture. And
Offsprings.
that's good. And next generation, yeah, learning shares the same DNA, but it's about the time we live in.
You should speak to me more and I'll give you words.
Yeah, wordly goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Copyright, Kevin. But the level of detail you will see, there is no back to this building. Every bit that you go around, you look at even the shed doors.
Even around there?
Even around there, everything is detailed so tightly. Like, we haven't flashed the corners at all. The metal workers that worked on the colour-bond shingles, they geeked out about this. They kept coming to us saying, could we do this? Can we do that? Like, there's not even a ridge capping at the top. They've actually bent each shingle over. Oh. So it's so tightly detailed because of the way that the people making it engaged with it. So the detailing is really tight, but you can also see thematically what we've done as well. So the original cottage, you've got the red brick that's goes up to floor level, and then it's painted white, And you can see what we've done. We've found the same red bricks to create a floor level datum, and then we've used colour bond shingles. So it's related but different. Definitely doesn't copy the old, but it shares the same DNA.
And is that recycled red brick?
Yep. It's the same red brick, which there's plenty of in recycling yards because people are knocking these things down. And then you can see the original brick wall, and then that goes through and becomes the internal wall to the new glass corridor. So when you walk through that central glass corridor, you suddenly have this brickwork that's an interior, lining now, and you start to get this sort of mixture of you start to understand the layering and the history of the site. So many birds. It's a bit Hitchcock.
Yeah. Pretty serious birds.
Do you want to have a wander?
No.
I wonder if you would like to wander.
No.
I wonder if wandering is on the cards.
Going back to Melbourne.
Going back to Melbourne, he's disappointed.
Right, let's go then.
Yay.
All right.
We've got the original cottage, and in the great tradition of Australian houses, there's the back entry. So if you know the family, you can come in through the back entry straight into the kitchen. We've got the original path. It's all just very original.
That's the original path.
Yeah. And the front door. But come and have a look this way. So this is where we've got the master bedroom as the pod that's been added to the side of the house. You can see the scale of it compared to the original house, and you can see how we've taken all of the junk away. So the gutter's actually concealed in there. This is where we were working really closely with the roofers, and they actually came out with this idea of this hidden gutter. There's these sausage shapes cut into the shingles that have a mesh across them to let the water in, and then there's no capping on top. It's just you've just got the shingles, placed on top there.
Right.
And then these little Y sections of angles. So we've made up our own angles that come out so that each of the shingles can come through and meet really nicely. And sitting on that red brick podium.
And the glass bridge.
And the glass bridge. So from the street, you can clearly see straight through into the backyard. So you get this transparency that happens, just like some of the other buildings, the public buildings that we've seen here in Canberra, like the High Court. And it is actually a bridge.
Oh, it is too.
Yeah, so things can grow underneath it as well. And you can probably tell from here as well that the door is covered in the same shingles.
Oh, there is a door?
There's a door that goes through there. So it's similar to the portraiture gallery where the material that's on the outside continues through to the inside. Oh, hi there.
Oh, hello.
Come on in. Sorry, remember Garden House episode where we locked ourselves out? That just happened again.
Is that the big ass medallion?
This is the bling I need to get a necklace for. They glued it to the house. So originally this was a very dark space. You could go right into the living space, or you could descend down into bedrooms that way. And so one of the big moves was to simply clear up the circulation. You come in the front door, you see natural light, and there's just a corridor going straight to the outside.
So you're saying there was a wall there before?
This was a wall, solid. And it used to have a kitchen that you had to get to from either side. And so just natural light and clear circulation now going down into the kitchen dining area. So a big part of the brief was that our client wanted a glass pavilion in the garden.
Conservatory.
A conservatory, which doesn't at all work for the climate that we're in. But we still gave her that by applying louvers to the outside so she could control the light. Then the other big move was this one, where it's a corridor perpendicular to that one that goes straight through to the new master bedroom.
So this is all existing stuff?
All existing, we just gave it a repaint. That was the kitchen, but we created a laundry there. Bedrooms either side, refit the bathroom. This was the master bedroom in here, but now this is just a sitting room before you get to the master bedroom.
Oh, look at these original windows.
Original windows, and we descend down. So we've just had to cut this out of the floor. And then the cladding of the door is the same as the external cladding, and we made up our own little door handles. And as we've do all the time, we've mentioned this in previous episodes, at the end of circulation space, corridors, there's always natural light. And this is the master bedroom. You walk in and it's actually...
See, this is the bridge.
Yeah.
That's the courtyard we're in.
Wave to your neighbours in the morning. And you walk in, and this is actually a walk-in robe, but it's not a whole separate space. Robes on each side, not going to the ceiling, so it feels much bigger. And the bed's on this side. With the trench heating. So this is very much a European solution. The trench heating right in front of the glazing, so you've got this sheet of warm air coming out.
This is like the NGV in Melbourne.
You know, so this is the master bedroom. You don't need a huge space, but you do need a really strong connection with garden, and that's what they've got here. Behind this, we've got lots of storage space. We've also hidden air conditioning, but there's also the hidden bathroom.
Oh, what? Oh, this whole, oh.
Yeah. It's a sneaky little bathroom. Again, you open a door and you reveal the outside, so you can reorientate yourself to the outside. One of my favourite things, a loo with a view. Hi neighbour, good morning. And then a cheeky little skylight. And that faces east, so we talked about it in Terracotta House, how in the morning you will get direct sunlight bouncing down, so it wakes you up when you have your morning ablutions. And all these beautiful details. So Ray Din in our office was the project architect, so he got really carried away with a lot of these beautiful little details.
A lot of radius.
Yeah.
He's made use of the compass we gave him.
Yeah.
In the
How to architect.
Yeah.
He knows how to architect. So that's that. And like just an amazing client. Like our client then went and put that mirror there, so it reflects back the natural light at the other end. Pretty clever move. That's not our move, that's her move.
And you really do see the transition back into the old house here.
Yeah. The red brick with the white painted brick above, red brick with the white shingle above. So new and the old having a really nice conversation instead of arguing with each other. And the new windows allow you to see all the hard work and the detailing that we've put in up here. So look, instead of flashing that edge and the ridge, it's capped with exactly the same shingles. Original bedrooms, gorgeous size. Why do bedrooms have to be so big? But the cool thing here is it's so small we couldn't fit in a big robe. So we created these sort of much more like a hotel where instead of hanging clothes that way, you hang them front ways.
Oh, yeah.
But you only do that within 300 mil instead of 600.
Like a valet.
Yeah. And always referencing back to the new architecture and knowing that at every point you're going to see the new architecture. So you have to detail it right. You can't hide. There you go. Little bathtub. So this was the original bathroom and we just refit it because it was gorgeous but very tired.
You love climbing in bathtubs.
You like filming me in bathtubs. Who's the weird one? Have you seen these tiles?
No.
On the walls, the dimples go in, but on the floors, the horizontal surfaces, they go out, so they're grippy.
Mm.
Huh?
Ah.
Huh? Ah. All right. So we redid that. Laundry used to be the kitchen. And so where we've knocked out this wall, this has become the spot where you can take your shoes off, bury your shoes under there, hang your coats and your umbrellas. You can also, if you really want to, close off the other end of the house. So this is about heat and sound isolation, but they disappear. You can continue through into the original dining room, or, this is one of my favourite bits, you can close that off and put a chair here and you've got a study space.
It's double-sided too. It's quite
double-sided, so you could get the kids and you could actually have them sitting around that and not let them leave until they've done their homework.
Oh, look at that little lip detail.
It's simple, isn't it?
Very reciprocal here.
Yeah. So nothing too fancy, you just rely on gravity to do its work. The other cool thing about this as well, to keep it in place, so that just sits there, there's actually a magnet on the end here, which is also on the end here. So it leans there with gravity, but there's just a little something extra to hold it into place. All of this is original, we just tidied it up. This particular space was added in the 70s. You've got the perforated
yes,
plasterboard.
it's got the whole 70s beige carpet as well.
Yeah. And then that's a new opening there. So you can tell where we did openings because we've actually added a little steel edge around it. So original window there.
Well, that's a pretty big original window.
Yeah. You can actually see, if you come through, Kev, that you've got the original brickwork, and that's where it actually is on the interior here, because this corridor's a new space.
What are those black panels?
Oh, so these are just for a bit of ventilation. It's cheaper and easier to actually open solid parts of the wall than make glazing open.
Oh, yeah.
So we've just got these, so you can just pop them open.
On those super hot days?
Yeah. And the cat can come jumping in and out whenever it wants.
And here you can see the red brick.
Yeah, so the original external wall and that red brick datum and the white brick above. And so front door we've come through and then we hit slab on ground. So this isn't like the other part of the house that we've added elevated in the red brick, and this has got in-slab heating in it. And this ceiling rakes right down because we've made sure that we have absolutely no overshadowing to the rear neighbour, because that's north, so the sun's coming from that way.
We're in the southern hemisphere.
And we've made sure that we reduce our overshadowing, including to our own bit of backyard here.
Is it a conscious decision with the light?
This light,
This is in line with that form.
absolutely. So we saw this similar, didn't we, Kev, in the portraiture gallery here in Canberra. So we've lined that up with the edge of the new corridor, and that lines up with this edge here as well. And that's one of those light fittings where you can change whichever part you want in it. And then on this side, this is the client's brief, the idea of a conservatory or a greenhouse in the garden. And so we've put facing north all of that glazing, but of course in summer you'll get absolutely blasted. So we've got these automated louvers, which can shade it in summer or let a huge amount of light in winter. And then other ideas like this, little cafe, look at this, opening out into so you can entertain out into the garden and just put stuff straight from the kitchen out. And then a little bench seat here, because these are bifolds. You can throw all of that open.
Sit on the cat.
And then you can hang out with the cat, or not. And a trick that we use a lot, you know how in some of our houses we've got a mirrored splashback?
Yeah.
We haven't done that here. We've got a garden as a splashback. But like in Tower House, we've actually put mirror at the end of the block, so it feels like it keeps going.
Oh, that snout doesn't go that deep internally.
No,
that shape.
And it's just a little shed on the outside.
Ah.
And then hidden all of the fridge and everything in the cabinetry. So this is a lot like SLATE House.
It's amazingly kind of 70s looking
Yeah.
or the timber.
It's very Canberra. So the integrated fridge and then the little pull-out pantry with huge amounts of storage just optimised.
Except for the powder-coated steel shingles, the materials definitely with the timber panels, with the groove and everything, that's very 70s and Canberra inspired.
Yeah, and a little bit Scandinavian, which was a bit of part of the brief as well. So you get all these details coming through.
Nice.
Every little bit's thought about. But come around the back. This is where we don't stop designing. So this is the back of the house, somewhere you don't go a lot. Hey, kitty cat.
Oh, wait, hang on. The dining room feels like a pavilion as well.
Oh, good point. So all these can slide away. All those bifolds can open up.
Oh.
So it feels like a covered outdoor space in a garden.
It's like a pavilion, literally.
Yeah, just like a pavilion. So there's a whole heap of storage behind there, which you access from the driveway. But there's actually a sneaky little cat door as well. So the cat can disappear into there and have a nap or use its kitty litter.
Is that?
That is air conditioning. And if I could find the remote, so instead of having an air conditioning unit stuck on the wall or paying a huge amount of money for a ducted system, we just put a standard cassette in there and you press a button and that just goes, boop, opens and pushes cold air in.
Nice.
Nice. But we just don't stop. We also talked to the client a lot about not putting in big decks and paving, so actually having loose paving. But look at this. This is, the back of the house. You've got, this gutter that we've made. Even the door over there is all the shingles all line up. Look at these.
Wait, I've never seen your gutter detail. That's people always wonder.
Oh, really?
Ah, so that's the page. And this is a huge triangular
Yeah, it's got an overflow on it as well.
Rainhead.
Always have an overflow. And look at the workmanship here. Like, they have done their best to line up. And this is us saying, please, could you make it really neat? And the metal workers working their butt off to make it happen. Yep, all custom.
Some serious birds.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And so the back of the house, and then you come into the garden, that's north. So the whole design is about how to create a sunny garden on the southern side of an existing house. And you do it by keeping the new addition small.
Wow.
Birds everywhere.
Angry birds. And that's where we came from.
This is where it all began. Empire House in a nutshell.
Nuts.
No, this is me in a nutshell. Oh no, how did I get in here? I didn't even know there were nuts this big. He has no idea what that reference is from. Do you know what it's from? Leave a comment. Oh, speaking of 70s, gutter, spitter, out into the garden. And look at how much that's thriving.
Oh, wow.
All right, go home, Kevin. Go home. The cup of tea spot. This is one of my favourite bits because you can get a cup of tea, somebody can be sitting out there in the garden. I've always thought that the edge condition is what's most important, not the quality of the interior space or the exterior space, but the human animal likes to occupy the edge.
And this is north facing too, isn't it?
Yes, somewhere to put some books, your favourite books, and sit here and have a cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea.